That's what it did. And when you look at them, and I'm not trying to put anybody down. I'm not speaking superiority, inferiority, because quite frankly, I think that the depigmentation process of the African into the Eurasian was quite a miraculous accomplishment. Nature did a beautiful job because nature protected the African. Said, I'm going to let you live. I'm going to let you live. I'm going to show you ways that you can live. And these Africans survived. They morphed into what we call Indo-Europeans, or what we call Cro-Magnon, from the Grimaldi African, but they survived. But the one thing they should have done when they came back down into the southern lands after the Ice Age ended, about give or take 10 to 9,000 years before the Christian or the Common Era, they should have found the biggest, blackest person they could find in order to mate, in order to go back into the archetype of humanity, which was black. Plants were born to be green. Humans were born to be black to brown. That's science. That's not personal. That's not superiority or inferiority. Sun brings life. In the presence of the sun, you get pigmented. Same way plants turn green, humans turn brown to black. That's just the way it is. That's science. But instead of that, these Africans that had gone through this process also got a calcified pineal gland, which stole them of their spiritual growth and their mental aptitude. So they created a concept of the fact of xenophobia. They would not mate with anything that didn't look like them. So they began to mate with people that look like them, like Cro-Magnon. So the point I'm making is that the Europeans and the Asians that we're dealing with today, you know, the ones that are in Africa, mistreating African peoples, the one in the United States, mistreating African people, those people all around the world, in India and all the rest of them, so-called Aryan people, whatever, they're all the same. All of them that mistreat. The people we're dealing with today are not mutations of the original human being. They are mutations of the mutation of the human being. That's why they done gone berserk.
And
their time is up. Their time is up, family. They're dying out with skin cancer. They're dying out because of drugs. And they're dying out because of the lack of melanin in their reproductive organs. Because this black substance called melanin, created in the blastula from the moment you were conceived, blackness governed and directed your life cycle.
That's right, triple darkness.
But the problem is the fact that in the melanated male, melanin acts like electricity in the spermatozoon. Spermatozoon is the single for the plural word we call spermatozoa. Spermatozoon is the singular sperm. In the spermatozoon, there is microtubules that's like the tail that gets the sperm to swim to the egg. There's a dynamic electricity that happens in that sperm. In the melanated woman, the egg, melanin in the egg creates a magnetism. See, electricity is a male characteristic, and magnetism, and I'm talking about the cosmos too, even. Magnetism is a female energy. So in melanated people, we don't have problems impregnating because we got electricity in the tail and we have magnetism in the egg. However, in the Indo-European, they don't have that. The Asians have a little bit of a better deal because they're halfway between the European, Cro-Magnon, and the African. They carry more of the the lineage of Africa in them for various reasons, all of them scientific. But they both are having very serious problems now reproducing. So that's killing them off too. And don't believe me, get a book by Ben J. Wattenberg. He didn't write the book for us. He wrote the book for them. It's called The Birth Dearth. This is science. This is demography. This is the study of populations. In order for a society to be able to continue, it is said that every family should produce at least 3 children. So, if you put 10 families together, you should have 30 children. In Europe, this is the birth dearth. This is their study of their numbers. This is their census taken. In Europe and in America, you're supposed to be producing 3 children. To be exact, they say 2.6, but you're supposed to produce 30 children, 10 families. But their numbers are telling them that they're only producing 1.6 children per family for a lot of different reasons. So that means that every 10 families only producing 16 children. They're supposed to be producing 30, but they're only producing 16, which means that they're dwindling out. They're dying out because the first thing they should have done when they come out the ice was to find black people to mate with instead of sticking with their own. So they're dying out. And so what I'm telling the black community is, okay, like when I tell this story and in the webinar, people really love it because on an emotional level, they don't really care for the way peoples of European descent have treated them, even Asians. They don't like the way they've been treated. So, they get real happy when they hear that white folk are dying out. But all I got to say is, if that's true, if by chance one day they will no longer exist, my question to us is, hey, Brother Kingya, are we prepared to govern ourselves? Do we have our own educational system in place? Do we have our own economic system in place? Can we be able to continue a civilization that would be viable? That's why we got to get ourselves together, because they're in trouble right now, family. They are in trouble. They're in trouble on a lot of different levels. We got to get ourselves together. We have got to get our doctors in place.
That's right. That's right.
Let me go back to answering your question. With the 5G and with all these other forms, the purest form of energy that comes to Earth is through nuclear fusion from the sun. There is no air, A-I-R-E, that you'll be able to add to your name that will tell you how wealthy you can be. There's no millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire. There is no limit to the wealth of the sun. Solar power is the wealth of the future. And isn't it wonderful that every place on the earth where the sun shines the brightest, the people are the most melanated? It's like the Creator put in our backyard wealth. So we got to teach our children solar power. You can begin by just teaching them about the sun. Teach them about the parts of the sun, the inner core, the outer core. Just teach them about the sun. I've got lesson plans on teaching solar power, and I use our culture. I use Akhenaten of the 18th dynasty. I use his poem, the Ode or the Hymn of Aten, to teach science. We can do this. We're doing it. We just need to do it more often, and we need to understand what it is that we're doing, and not just doing it because someone tells us to do it. We have to ourselves see the value and understanding. Culture sets you free.
That's right.
Culture is to the human what water is to a fish.
We have to share the value. We have to share our values. That's the axiology of nature. We got to share what we value, and we have to identify what it is we actually value. So, I mean, I love the jewels you're dropping. I love the I love the energy that you always bring forth. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back. I want to start opening the lines for Q&A. I know you're traveling and on the road, so we'll keep the questions and comments brief. I have a question that I'd like to ask, and I'll get an answer potentially after the break from you, Kaba. Nationality. Okay. We spoke about spirituality earlier. Nationality, is this a time for our people to begin claiming their nationality? And if so, how do they identify which nationality they should be claiming? So that's a question, because I know that this is a pivotal moment for a lot of us, and myself included. I've been swayed to look into the possibilities of claiming my nationality and embracing, my heritage based on the information that I've obtained from my family, and part of that being native from the Choctaw tribe and Blackfoot tribe. So that's a question that I'd like to delve into after the break. We're going to take about a 30-second break, and then we're going to go to the phone lines. You're listening to the Kingya Speaks Network, and joining us is our most honored guest, Professor Kaba Kamene. We'll be back, guys, with more. Thank us.
Kingya Speaks podcast is a powerful and indispensable show that is essential to our ongoing cultural dialogue. Listen as he shines the light on social, economic, and criminal brutality that plagues blacks in America. Kingya Speaks is a full-circle discussion that examines the origins, applications, and solutions to these relationship problems. Here are his nuggets of wisdom on how to cope and fight back. Now let's jump into your favorite podcast.
Okay, guys, we are back. And you are listening to the Kingya Speaks Radio Network. Joining us is our most honored guest, brother, friend, comrade, professor, historian, Kaba Kamene. Welcome back, my beloved brother.
Hotep to my brother, Kingya, and to the community that is in tune with us today.
Absolutely, my brother. Before the break, we were talking about a couple things. We talked about spirituality. We were also talking about the 5G and the electromagnetic waves and the radiation, the frequencies that are interfering with our natural and spiritual frequencies. And we were talking about ways to protect yourself from the 5G. We were getting into that a little bit. I had did a podcast a while ago, and we talked about the electromagnetic radiation, the frequencies, how to protect yourself. Hematite is a crystal that we need to invest in. Black tourmaline is another crystal we need to invest in. Shungite, pyrite, citrine, rose quartz, sage. These are things that we need to be investing in and purchasing for our own selves. And I'd like to share that with the audience, those that are interested in purchasing some of that information. You want to know where to get some of that stuff from, hit me up at kingyaspeaks@gmail.com, kingyaspeaks@gmail.com. Also, I want to encourage everyone that's tuning in to, we're talking about axiology, right? We're talking about axiology, sharing what you value. So I'm going to ask all of the listeners right now to share your axiology. Share this show with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones. Go and buy Baba Kaba's book. Check it out. He's got several books out. One book in particularly, he has Spirituality Before Religions. It's on Amazon right now. Spirituality Before Religions. He also has. Correct me if I'm incorrect. He's got a free 6-day e-course available, Spirituality Before Religions. Is that correct, Baba?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. So go to Amazon, check him out. You can follow him on Instagram at Kaba, Kaba, Kamene, Kamene. That's